one. And I guess we're live. Welcome everyone to Coffee Talk episode Unpaid Internships. My name is Roman. I'm going to be your host. And today with me here is Anna Pogrebniak. She is a marketing manager at EdSearch and also an admin and the person behind the awesome marketers community. It's a marketing community on Slack, almost 500 people. So if you're into marketing, please join. Today we're going to be talking about unpaid internships. And yeah, Anna, hi, welcome. And how are you doing?
Hi, doing good. A bit sleepy.
All right.
But that's why we're having the coffee break, I guess.
Yeah, well, I have tea, so maybe
So do I.
not very thematic, but
Yeah.
it's fine. So the reason I wanted to talk to you about it is because I know that you had some experience with unpaid internship, and whether it was pleasant or not, I think it's very few tell us.
So in my whole career, I had, I think, a total of 4 unpaid internships. Half of them were okay. Half of them were very weird. Um, so I guess I could just briefly talk about all 4 of them here. So the first one and it was like the very first working experience after the university or even during the university. And I didn't really know who I am as a professional. I didn't know what I want to do in life. So I was just like, I like writing, so let's try this out. And I was writing blog posts for this Malaysian startup, like fully remote, obviously. It was just interviewing travelers once a month, twice a month. It was just super fun, super chill. No commitment, just like really small thing, couple of hours a month. That was like super nice experience in general, and people helped me to understand SEO a little bit more and experience that. And then I had 2 really weird ones, and I wrote about them on my LinkedIn if you find it later.
Yeah.
One was, and both of them were in Helsinki, and in the companies that were run by one person, usually a foreigner, which probably doesn't connect anything, but still, that was just like how it happened. And in both companies, we were at the same time like a huge group of unpaid interns, 5 to 10 people at the same time, all tasked with doing the same thing, basically. Like in the first, or like in both companies, we were 5 to 10 marketing unpaid interns. And like, what can you do with 10 marketing unpaid interns? Well, nothing really. And we were not giving any instructions because the person himself didn't know anything about marketing. It was just like, grow a company on social media. You have no budget, no salary, and no feedback from me whatsoever. And we're like, let's Google. I mean, this was a bit funky experience because in the first one, we were constantly mistreated, reminded that we're unpaid there, that we're there only because this person is so kind to give us this experience. We should be thankful. We should be grateful he's giving us this possibility to work for free for this person. And actually that we even should pay him for teaching us, which well, in theory, it didn't happen because he never taught us, and the questions were forbidden in this company because whenever you would try to ask a question, he would be like, you have to Google first and only then bombard your supervisor with questions. So that was like really funky experience. And the second one, very similar. And from both of them, I couldn't get out so easily because the first one was a contract from university. So if I would break this, I would have to have some like paperwork to do, and I was just annoyed by this. And the second
Your
one I
project
had,
as well.
yeah, exactly that one. And the second one I had even worse. It was with TE-toimisto, this practical training that you can do. So like all my money depending on how this goes, and I couldn't just like say like this is weird. I need to go. I'm not getting anything from this. And so we were just there for a few months. And then the last one actually was super nice. I started hanging out with the shortcuts while I was at the last place. And just started to pick up some random things they had to like me to do in terms of marketing. I launched a blog on the shortcut, for example. It was like 2016. We didn't even have the shortcut lab. If you're familiar with the shortcut, it's an organization that helps foreigners find jobs in Helsinki or in Finland. They have a lot of right now remote workshops. In the past, they had a lot of actual real events, and a lot of people come and learn from them. So I just like sticked around and started to help out, and then it turned into some kind of full-time short commit, like semi full-time commitment. And the people were very nice because we had like one goal that we all wanted to achieve. And I think at the time when I was there, no one actually was a paid employee. So you can consider it unpaid internship, but more like volunteering, I guess, full-time volunteering.
That's interesting because you mentioned your first unpaid internship being from Malaysia somehow, and it was fine. But then the moment you got something unpaid in Helsinki, it was not a very pleasant experience. In my opinion, at least I would expect it to be a little bit otherwise, which is strange. Obviously, this is not very good way to treat any employee, especially if that employee is not getting paid. I mean, from my perspective, if I'm trying to do an unpaid internship, that's probably because I'm trying to get an experience, some knowledge. And rather than being told that you should show respect and be grateful to have that, I would rather have some nurturing environment, because I want to use this as an opportunity to go further. And we're also in Nordics. Nurturing flat organizational hierarchy here is the thing. And if you do otherwise, it's really unwelcome. So first of all, really sorry you had that. But then you also mentioned really good experiences. So your statement on unpaid internships being evil, do you still commit to it? Do you
Yeah,
think?
I totally do. Well, I like commented somewhere that internships, unpaid internships are evil, and I totally do commit to that because I noticed in whatever company, like the nice experience unpaid internship versus the bad one, when you are not paying for the person to do the work, you don't really appreciate that much. Like I could, for example, commit to spend 10, 20 hours on a blog post because I'm a marketer and that's what I do, blog posts. And then if a company wouldn't like that, they would just like be, we don't like that. And I feel all my time is wasted because like all my work is just going to the trash basically, especially if this is a narrow topic and I can't use it anywhere else. And when right now I'm a marketing manager in a company where I work with a lot of freelancers, and when I know I'm paying for their time for writing like the blog post, I would make sure this is something we can use in some kind of way. They know that it's used. They getting paid for it, and it's just totally different experience when you know when you're doing something, spend all this time, effort, you love into this one thing, and then it's just never used. Like all the people are like, yeah, just whatever, you did it, but we don't like it, so bye. And it just happens a lot with volunteering in general. I remember there was it's not an unpaid internship, but there was like one project by I think one Facebook group that I was following, and I like this Facebook group. It's just really nice experience and helpful. And an admin was asking someone like super urgent, can you make a poster for this event? Because we're having this event and the designer who wanted to do the poster originally can't do it. And I was like, yeah, I'll be happy to do it. So I spent the whole evening doing it. I'm not a illustrator, like I'm not a designer myself, but I like doing it for fun. And especially the topic was nice. There was like some nice event. I was like, yeah, I'll just be happy to help this community. And then I sent it back to him, and he's like, I like the other people's posters better. I'm like, I didn't know it's a competition. Why would I spend all this time if I knew you were going to choose? I didn't submit my poster for a competition. I wanted to help you out. So I spent all this time and effort and nothing again. Like it's just like, and that like particular thing, like it literally goes to trash because the event is like one time thing.
That's very weird because I mean, the person is not going to get paid, right? It's an initiative from that person to do it for free.
Right?
So number one thing that you should do if you are asking someone for help is to appreciate whatever they're trying to do, but also at the same time be transparent about whatever you need, whatever you expect to see. I guess maybe that person didn't give clear guidelines on how to do it. And especially if that person is asking several people at once, make
Yeah,
it clear
several
that
people doing it for free. Like that's like just a weird thing to do. And I guess there's only one way I would appreciate an unpaid internship in general. It's first is if it's an NGO, like I guess LaureaES, you probably like a lot. Most of you are probably volunteers
pretty much
there.
everyone.
Like the shortcut in Helsinki, where right now I think they even started to pay the interns, which is super nice. I'm really proud for them to going that way. Like when we started, no one of us was paid. Then we started to get the first paid employees, and that was like a huge event. And now I guess most of them are paid right now, which is amazing. Like this type of student organizations where you know that there's like people are helping each other, like this type of thing.
Yeah.
When and the other type of unpaid internship that I would probably commit myself if I would have to do it ever again is when you have not a full-time commitment, but maybe like I had in the first place with the Malaysian startup, like
Or
just
the
a couple of
freelance.
hours a month, and I'm building my portfolio. They are helping me to understand these things. And I'm not committed to them like 30, 40 hours a week. It's just a few hours a month, which is like nice for both of us to get content, I get experience, and none of us has to like die on top work because I'm doing this unpaid internship.
Yeah, actually, I had similar experience. I had an unpaid internship as well before I got hired at RedKite, and it was for a agency in Sweden. It was a fully remote one, and well, I got lucky, I guess. I didn't have any bad experience. I was doing some growth marketing, you could say, and the thing is, it was unpaid because it's a very early stage startup. So in essence, they're not very profitable, like at all. So they barely can pay their own employees, which they don't have that many. So they are kind of existing on the support of students and these type of interns. I didn't have a contract, but that also made me very flexible. I wasn't asked to have like 30, 40 hours a week. They knew clearly that this is unpaid and this is my own initiative. I asked for it. And they were expecting like 10 to 12 hours a week. It wasn't fixed, it wasn't tracked. It was up to me, just to have some kind of progress because there is a certain project to work on. And at the end of it, I mean, the whole experience was nice. The founder of it was really nice, and everyone I worked with, it was a pleasure to do so. And then at the end of it, when I asked, can I have maybe a reference letter or recommendation on LinkedIn? Because, well, I did some job, but, I didn't really get anything but experience. It's very vague thing, experience. And yeah, she just wrote it like the next week. I got it. It's a nice addition to my CV, to my LinkedIn profile. And there is absolutely no drama, no scam there. And in my opinion, if you do unpaid internships or if you provide unpaid internships, this is the only way for it to be justified. Maybe NGOs like us, of course, because our primary goal is not for people to get paid. Our primary goal is to grow personally and professionally. People that join LaureaES, for example, those are mainly students who want to improve their skills and knowledge on certain topics. And in a way, it's first of all a great networking opportunity. And in a way, you can attach it to your CV and say, hey, I've been doing this for like a year or less or more. It's a great thing. So that's not the main goal, not the money. So
With
yeah, I think
startups, I'm a bit skeptical because if there's a single person getting money there and there's like equity involved, the startup's gonna grow and all this stuff, I'm sure they can spare 300, 500 euros a month, or like 10 euros an hour, like the bare minimum, so that you would already feel appreciated for your work. And this all this like extra money does go on top of whatever you're getting from unemployment office or student money that you might be getting from Kela. But also in addition, I just wanted to mention that unpaid internship is a thing that you can do, like if it's more involving than just a couple of hours a week, couple of hours a month. Is something not everyone can afford to do, because yeah, you have to pay your bill, you have to pay your rent. I cannot pay any of my food with experience.
Of course. That was my point after, well, by the end of my unpaid internship. I was happy to stay, but I also mentioned that, I can't afford working for free anymore. So I had to search for something else. And honestly, in a way, I understand why they do it, but if you talk about it generally, that's not very sustainable in the long term. I mean, I get that the business is not profitable, but imagine that you have to hire a completely new person who has no idea what's going on every 3-4 months. Uh, Try to onboard him or her for like a month or a few weeks, and just this vicious cycle of the knowledge being accumulated and then lost, and being accumulated
Exactly.
and then lost. They're not gonna get profitable unless there's some growth hacker all of a sudden like, hey, let's go viral with
And
this.
also, most of the startups are not profitable just by the definition. A lot of startups are not aiming to get profitable, so they're just keeping it equal.
Yeah, I had
And if they
Spotify.
are hiring a new person, then why can't they just spare this amount of money from this particular fund and get it to the unpaid intern? And another thing, actually, in Helsinki, a nice one that happened to a friend of mine is that they had a friend of mine had a contract with a company, and then there was another person who was getting employed, but I think the salary wasn't enough or something. There was like some problem that that other person's salary wasn't enough either for Migri or some other service. Like the point was that that person who is not a full-time employee, who is not a founder of that company, and it was like a very tiny startup, had to get his salary higher. So the founder actually cut his salary so that he could pay this person more. It was just like unbelievable.
That's very great. I think that's very fair as well. Uh, Honestly, if I was starting my own thing, my first goal would not be, having high salary. I mean, you grow your startup by attracting the talent, right? And that talent will only stay if it's worth staying. And usually that, of course, involves money. Also, one thing to mention to anyone's watching, in Finland, having an unpaid internship is illegal unless it is part of your studies. So
Actually, yes, an important thing.
if someone is offering you an unpaid internship and you're not a student anymore and they're not trying to make it part of your study program, for example, in my international business bachelor's, it was a mandatory thing to have some kind of internship during summer. It doesn't have to be paid, unpaid, but we get credits for it. If that's not the case, it's illegal. Say no, demand payment, or just leave them be, because this is unacceptable.
And in case you're in trouble, go to and ask this from TE-toimisto and the unemployment office, and they will tell you exactly if that's legal or if it's not legal. Sometimes they can pay for this extra practical training that you don't get the money from the company, but from the unemployment office. So just make sure it's actually legal, because often it's not.
Yes. Also, if you belong to any labor union in your field or anywhere else, they also always offer counseling on job search, and they might be able to help you with the legal side of it, whether it's legal or not, and whether the company is actually allowed to do that. All right, it's 11:50. I think we have reached our 20-minute mark. Anna, do you have any last thing to say or one message to all the people that are facing unpaid internships?
Good luck, and make sure you're benefiting from it more than the actual company. And if you're not, just run, go away and find something that you would enjoy. For example, join LaureaES or any other entrepreneurship society or any other nonprofit organization in the country that you would benefit and you would actually help other people, not to get richer, but help for the purpose of helping.
Absolutely. And from my side, again, yes, if you have any questions about unpaid internships or you're looking for some kind of experience, you can always contact us at LaureaES. Or if you're specifically in marketing, there is this awesome community called Awesome Marketers. And if you have any crazy idea, you can test it there. You can connect people. There are events. I think this is a better way to grow than a sketchy unpaid internship. So yeah.
Totally.
Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you for the next coffee talk. And Anna,
Thank you.
thank you for
It was
coming.
a pleasure.